What is going on, ladies and D-Gents? This is Steve, Big Bucks Beta of the Distinguished D-Gents podcast. One half of the Distinguished D-Gents over here. Joining me, as always, my co-host, partner in crime, Jason, Money Mansmann. Money Mansmann, I gotta say, I think you got the better of the handicaps this week compared to me.
Not better of the betting, though.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Give us a quick recap of your betting week.
Yeah,
how did it go?
A lot of good handicaps, just a couple of not good handicaps and stupid bets and stupid parlays that took what should have been a really good winning week and made it into a just about break-even week. The Atlanta game really hurt me. The Giants really hurt me. And then the Eagles, yeah, that was the sort of trifecta of big games that I really liked that didn't come in. And it's strange because literally, like, other than that, I pretty much, like, was on every other handicap, strangely enough.
Yeah, my handicapping week wasn't, I'll say this, compared to the last 2 weeks, this week was, like, much better in comparison. However, like, I mean, not the best numbers by any stretch. I only went 7, 6, and 2 ATS. Those 3-point games, literally, like, you get the push there. Like, I can't remember the last week we've had where there's been 2 pushes on the spread.
Yeah.
At the same number too, no less. But yeah, 7, 6, and 2 ATS. I went 9 and 6 on the money line. So I actually like had some decent plays. Looks like the favorites here like get the rebound once again. But over under did a little regression here, 6 and 9.
Oh.
Or sorry, I went 7 and 9. Actually, yeah, I forgot to add the Monday night number. So yeah, 9 and 7, 7, 7 and 2. Like it's it's basically broke even on the picks more or less, but Cleveland coming through for me was big because I got Browns at -2.5. And I actually had like a bunch of correlated bets and I had some big plays on them where I didn't even realize it, but I turn around and I have like 6, 7 units going on that game just on different ways.
Oh,
San Francisco also came in clutch for me. Kind of the same reasoning, had some correlated bets. Those all came through, no problems. And I actually I tried something new. I did a round robin with the anytime touchdown scores. Ended up getting 3 of 5 and ended up profiting on that, which helped a lot. But yeah, got a 13 unit profit day, all things considered.
Oh, there you go. Good for you, man.
Yeah, and literally, and we'll get into it. Like, I think we can start with the Saturday games, but like a lot of another correlated same game parlay came in clutch for me. Hit 2 of the 3 games here, which I believe you got one of the texts for on Saturday when I sent it to you. I was live going into that Broncos game, and it just went to shit.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
that was going to be payback for the Blaze. Told you.
You asshole. Well, anyways, let's get into this, folks. We got to start off with the Saturday games. Starting off, Minnesota, Nick Mullins. Unfortunately, they didn't get the win. 24. The Bengals come back in the fourth quarter, get the game in overtime. 27 was the final. Over hits in that game. I mistook the Vikings for who they were, and I forgot that they were a better team on defense compared to the offense. But honestly, even Nick Mullins, for a majority of that game, did show up. Didn't expect that to happen. The Bengals defense, who I thought was looking pretty good lately, they had some mishaps, and it really took a fourth quarter late drive to get the comeback. Good win, though, for Jake Browning, I will say, for albeit a backup quarterback. But he's putting up tape, and he's showing that he can be a winner, too, and I think that's going to bode well for him down the line. This Bengals team, though, you have to start to wonder if the hype is starting to come crashing down here.
Well, it was a big win for Cincinnati. I mean, I don't know. I actually, well, the Steelers we'll get to the Steelers. You just wonder if Cincinnati's due for a loss. They had another comeback win. They had that comeback win against like Jacksonville, and then another comeback win. I thought they were going to lose. It was my mother's birthday weekend, as you know. I was at a restaurant and, on the TV, was watching the end of the game, and I thought for sure the Vikings were going to win it, and then they, turned the ball over or punted or whatever. And
yeah, I think they punted.
Bengals, man, Jake Browning finding a way to win, but I don't know. Seems like a very fraudulent 6-loss team, and I just wonder if if Jake Browning's going to turn into a pumpkin sometime soon.
I don't know if I would say that they're a fraudulent team. I think this is a combination of. I'll say this game proved two things to me. Number one, Zach Taylor, real deal of a head coach. I said this before with the turnaround earlier in the season, but you have to give credit to Zach Taylor for putting Jake Browning in winning situations and letting him perform the way he did. Number two, though, and more concerning, for those in the offseason, when you're looking at potential first coaches fired, or if you're looking at team totals and the name Brian Flores comes to mind as a new head coach, I want people to rewind this and watch this game. I want them to go back and watch that Raiders game and just look at the two differences you see between Brian Flores. I want you to watch the Minnesota game with the Chicago Bears when he blew that game too.
And I'll tell you what, man, especially too, that's a good point you make. People were talking about how, Miami struggling wasn't Brian Flores' fault. I mean, no offense, that argument's lost steam. Look at Mike McDaniel now. Look at what Miami's doing this year.
Yeah, exactly.
That argument lost a lot of steam, buddy.
That argument lost a lot of steam, but I also wonder, this is the second in 3 weeks, I want to say, maybe 2 and 4, where Brian Flores gives up a fourth quarter lead for the other team just to end up winning. And you have to think, if those wins go the other way, you're talking about Minnesota winning the division, me and you both handicapped. And you just got to start asking yourself, is Brian Flores really worthy of being a head coach? If this is the guy on defensive coordinator who's just going to blow fourth quarter leads, is that a guy you really want leading your organization? I don't know. But I think you can only do so much with Nick Mullins on offense. But I won't blame Kevin Stefanski or O'Connell, whichever fucking one it is.
My bad fantasy decision. I started Ty Chandler, which was great. I didn't start Jordan Addison, and of course he had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that was a. Then again, though, your lineup in fantasy this week, and by the way, folks, both of us are in the fantasy playoffs. I had the bye, number 1 overall seed. Monty Mansmann, number 6 wild card, puts up 190 with the most dominant lineup anyone has seen all season, including myself, and left, I think, 80 points on his bench. That was just
literally, I had Jared Goff and Jordan Addison on the bench. I could have put up 250. I mean, I had probably the perfect DFS lineup this week.
You really did. It was absurd. Crazy. You really did. Speaking of not so perfect, we need to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. I was worried that this was going to be my donkey pick of the week by taking the Colts. Colts were down 13-0 in the first half, and then they just turned the gas on and they just put the pedal to the metal. They floored it. And the Steelers gave up. That's my takeaway from this game. The Pittsburgh Steelers offense has all but given up at this point.
George Pickens should be inactive next week, by the way.
He should have been cut.
If he's worried about injuries, he could fucking be caught or inactive. Seriously.
At least Teddy Bridgewater was smart enough to say, look, I made a business decision to not go for a concussion. George Pickens, there's just no excuse for that level of. I mean, I shouldn't even say effort. There was no effort on that play. And we've seen this multiple times. How many replays have we seen on NFL memes, NFL IG, where it's just George Pickens touching his shoulders and just literally putting up the worst effort of a wide receiver ever when it comes to blocking. He should be, I would literally, if he's active, I'm playing all his unders. Parlay.
I think this could be it for Mike Tomlin, honestly. I think you consider, this Pittsburgh team, I played Pittsburgh. That was a mistake. I expected a Tomlin team to fight, and they just, again, they got up 13-0 and then could not do anything for the rest of the game, and it was all Colts after that.
All I'm saying is, this was the exact reason why I couldn't back them.
Yeah.
Because it was like I said, there was so much pointing towards this is where you do it. This is where you back Tomlin. And you just look at the state of this team. And looking even into next week, they play the Bengals at home. And this is just another Pittsburgh Steelers spot where they're catching 2.5 at home as a home dog. Mike Tomlin normally succeeds here, but like looking at this team, I don't want to back any sort of money on them whatsoever.
You can't put money on them. Like even if that's the play to make, like at this point, you just can't put money on the Steelers. They're not trustworthy.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable that you let Gardner Minshew down 13, come back 30-0.
I don't know why it was easy too, like a no
31.
I mean, it was a comfortable win for the Colts. That was the craziest part about it.
And it's not like Zach Moss did anything really crazy either, because trust me, I had him active just for shits and giggles. And let me tell you, like, I'm more concerned for the Colts next week when they I'm looking up who they're playing now. I can't remember the top of my head. They're playing the Falcons in Atlanta. So maybe not too worried, but Zach Moss potentially is injured, might not play. That Michael Pittman hit too, by the way. And that's another thing too. Tom Brady, these old fuckheads are saying like it's not the DB's fault for fucking hitting the guy. Like I'm all for this 2023 ref bullshit. I'm all for how inconsistent they are. Like, how long has it been in this league? You don't like the guy's literally midair. You don't fucking go for his head. Like, just let the dude fall. And no, instead you literally go and you just try to bend the guy's neck back.
Yeah, torpedo. Yeah.
Like, there's just, I hate to say it, but like, in this league, they're not going to let that shit fly. There's just no excuse. You just need to eat it. But for Tom Brady to come out and say, oh, well, that's the quarterback's fault. He shouldn't have thrown the ball to him that way and let him get hurt. Like, all we're doing is protect. It's like, okay, well, maybe they are protecting the off, but that's the game now. You adapt to the game. You don't fucking make excuses. That's what losers fucking do. All right. Speaking of fucking losers, and this is going to piss me off, but.
Bro, I tried to tell you this was bad, and this
was horrendous. I couldn't have seen this coming, but Money Man's sure shit dead.
I really do feel bad for you though, because season's over now. I mean, this is your season right here.
I'll introduce it, and where I normally would talk, I'll let you go. But Broncos go to Ford Field. It doesn't fucking make a difference. Lions 42, Broncos 17. This was my dog of the week. God, this should be a triple center.
Yeah, that dog is put out back with 2 holes in its head. Oh, speaking of dog, by the way, Big Bucks is going to be dog dad to a second puppy very soon.
Oh, Jesus. You had to. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the reference call today.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't remember, check out our Week 14 recap and into my drunken degeneracy of bad promises to my wife after hitting a $1,200 same-game parlay. Yeah.
Nice little Christmas present. There you go.
Well, we found a puppy, and it's Christmas, and we're gonna meet the little guy. We're gonna see what happens. No promises yet. There's no guarantees we're taking him home yet, but there may be a second one here to the Abeyta household.
Yeah, so
But anyways,
we'll see. But back to the game. I mean, first off, the refereeing in the game, there were some brutal calls that went against the Broncos. Which, oh my God, look at them.
No, I don't want to hear the refs. I don't want to hear the refs.
No, I'm just saying, like, there were a couple bad calls against the Broncos. Although I don't know if Sean Payton, like, if he lost his red challenge flag. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know.
Could Jerry Jeudy
really
catch
wasn't
ball?
competitive in the game.
Let's start there. Could Jerry Jeudy catch the ball? How many times did Russ throw it up to him and give him ample opportunity to make a big play? And every fucking time, right through his hands, right on the ground.
Yeah, your offensive line didn't have a good game either. So.
Well, that's fair, but also there was just times where we could have had the drive going. We could have been moving the ball, but either our O-line fucking fell through like Swiss cheese, or Jeudy dropped the ball, or Russ was running around not knowing who was open because it was man coverage. And God, you have to start wondering, is this Vance Joseph defense frauds too? Like they were talking about how
Vince Joseph remembered who he fucking was. That's for sure.
God, that was like a pathetic effort. And honestly, like I know Sean Payton was yelling at Russ. I think it's hard to blame him when you have to run around for your life, nobody's open, and you can't do a scramble because there's probably a QB spy on you. But yeah, the bad calls by the ref. That offsides was definitely killer. When they were on the goal line, pushed him back to the 5, and that just kind of sealed the game right there. Because if they had scored it, it would have been a 2-possession game going into the fourth quarter. Could have kept it alive.
I just don't know why the guy didn't throw a challenge flag twice. Like, I mean, I'm watching the game, and I'm like, why isn't he challenging this? Like, is he going to throw the flag? Like, why is he doing
that?
That
was a strange. This was in the middle of my holiday party, so like literally by that point, like when all that shit went down, I fucking turned it off and we went to UFC because it was just like I couldn't handle it anymore. But having watched the recap, it was, honestly, it was just all but over, and it was like, wow, I flipped it back, and it's worse. Let me flip it away.
Yeah, I think the Lions had scored on like 4 or 5 straight drives in a row. Like Denver looked like a team that wasn't ready for the real time, that they played like a legitimate opponent on the road, and just they needed Easton Stick back, and he just wasn't available.
Fair enough. All right. This is here. I owe you one more. I did promise you a double, so there will be that. But before I do that, we need to. I feel like this game deserves a cinnerator just on its own for how wrong we somehow were. Atlanta failed to cover as a 3-point road dog. They lost to the Carolina Panthers in the rain 9-7. Bryce Young, no offensive scores. This is a simple recap. Atlanta sucks. Arthur Smith fucking sucks. Can't utilize any offensive talent whatsoever. This was I don't care that it was a rain game. I don't care that Desmond Ridder was on the road. Carolina, no offensive scores. 9-7. You lose by 3 field goals in the rain.
Desmond Ridder threw another pick in the red zone again.
Yeah, I mean, Arthur Smith, I'm surprised he hasn't been fired yet, but he better be fired.
Oh, it's coming. Yeah, it's coming. Arthur Blank isn't the most, or Bland or whatever his name is. He is the most patient guy. Yeah, he ain't the most patient guy. Like, I think it's only a matter of, this Atlanta team. Bijan Robinson's not playing. 7 carries for 11 yards. Like,
here's my thing. Let's get back to Arthur Smith. You have a Bijan Robinson that you drafted in the first round, which I thought was strange to begin with because you had a Tyler Algier and a Cordero Patterson that you were both utilizing. They were both being utilized effectively. Like, I think it was last year, Cordero Patterson had the crazy fantasy stat numbers.
Yeah, yep.
Big year. And then you just put him on third string for Bijan, who, look, albeit he's panning out well, but
they hardly use them. They don't even use them. They use Tyler Algier more. It's so weird.
And that's what I don't get. It's like you have the better guy. It would be like if the Giants picked up Saquon, but benched him for God, I just lost his name. Yeah. But you know what I mean.
Or like the
Matt Breida,
offensive coordinator of the Bills, Ken Dorsey, who benches James Cook after a fumble against the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
How stupid is that? Like, I don't know, man. These coaches, it's like, no offense, dude, just play your best guys. And I don't even know. My under of the week hit. Yay. That was easy money.
Yeah, I was definitely wrong on the over prediction here, but it wasn't like I bet the over here. It was just.
God, what a miserable game with 5 people at it. And Atlanta sucks. And I never make money off them. And every time I bet against them, they fucking win, and then I bet on them and they lose. I hate Atlanta so much.
It's like me with Tennessee. You have to avoid it.
Oh,
anytime
Please don't get me started
another
with
fucking
Tennessee.
game. Yeah, we're gonna have to get to this one, but it's not this one. This one is actually the one that made me money, and I was actually happy at the end of this game, despite the fucking shit performance. Joe Flacco, 3 interceptions later, but gets the second half comeback. 20-17 final score. Justin Fields drives the ball midfield. The Hail Mary occurs. Not his fault, though, to be fair. If only Darnell Mooney just held on to the ball.
Darnell Mooney, another fucking bust.
Yeah, you know what though? Like I would love to shit on Darnell Mooney for that, but like, come on, it's a Hail Mary. It's batted down. You're on the floor. Like, I think that could have happened.
It's the type of things that the Bears do, and it's just Darnell Mooney's career. He was a disappointment. I had him, I think, one year. He was like a fantasy receiver, a Mansmann Mauler, and then he just did nothing.
Yeah, it just makes you wonder what the state of this Bears team is, because you look at how they've been performing lately, and you see signs of hope. You actually, I think, see some sort of improvement with Justin Fields, and you see some sort of like you know increase in production on the defense. At least getting some turnovers here and there that gives you like something to look forward to. But and then you lose games like this.
Yeah, and then you remember you got outplayed by Joe Flacco.
Which, I mean, that in my personal opinion, and again, I'm a Maryland resident for many years, I can tell you from personal attestment, to outperform Joe Flacco is not like a resume builder. That's like
it's crazy. Like, this guy was what? You gave this stat like 2-15 as a starter and has won like 3 straight now.
He's won 2 straight. I think.
Well, 2 straight. It's crazy. Like, but Cleveland, that's a massive win for them. I mean, that pretty much guarantees the playoffs. And it's the same thing. The home
that
road
is not true.
Well,
that isn't.
No, but like
if they lose out, they're out. And by the way, this is going to be a spoiler alert. I had a Cleveland under 9.5 bet that is live going into next week and the weeks after.
That bet's over. That bet is dead in DOA.
And I'll give you the warnings. Some of my bets next week are not going to be reflective of my handicaps because of these hedge potentials I have on my future bets. So we'll keep this in mind. But Cleveland has a weird matchup against the Houston Texans in Houston. No CJ Stroud, though, it looks like.
Yeah, so I think you're dead next week, honestly.
Yeah, we'll worry about that in the next episode.
If I wasn't so busy, I'd already have a Cleveland -1.5 ticket, and I really should.
But yeah, I'll give you the 5 bets I had here on this Cleveland game that actually ended up making me profit for the most part. Here we go. It is Chicago Bears under 17.5. Got that at a unit profit.
Thank you, Darnell Mooney.
Thank you, Darnell Mooney. Browns -2.5 and under 38.5 total points.
Thank you, Darnell Mooney.
Thank you, Darnell Mooney. Under 38.5 total. That was a unit. Thank you, Darnell Mooney. And Browns -2.5. That was a unit and a half to get 3 units. So a little under unit and a half profit.
There you go, man. There you go.
Big win there. Ended up being like that pretty much is the reason I had a big day. That and one of the 4:00 games, which we will get to. But any final takeaways? I don't think we really talked about Cleveland and the state of Joe Flacco here.
No, they're fine. I mean, Chicago put forward a good effort, but Cleveland found a way to win. They're good at home. They battle, and like I said,
is Joe Flacco the best Browns quarterback they've had all year?
Yes. Yeah. You know what? He's perfect for this team because he doesn't need to do too much. And you're just sort of hoping that, like, you do enough and your defense holds, and it's really all you're looking for.
Well, sir, I do owe you one more cinnerator, so cheers.
Oh, this is gonna hurt. Oh, look at it.
God, that it just immediately comes back up.
Yeah, it's literally like
it's not that like it wouldn't be so bad, but if there's just a point, it literally just forces itself back up, and that's what gets you.
Why get blazed when you can get incinerated?
Oh my God, yeah. All right, moving on. This was another shit game. I don't know why we're gonna overblow this. But I'm more interested in what you took away from this. But the New England Patriots, they failed to cover as 8.5-point home dogs. Chiefs win 27-20 or 27-17. The over 37 does hit here. I had nothing to do with this game. Like I said, didn't put any money on it. This just seemed like the Kansas City Chiefs bounce back spot, sort of like with the when they played the Chicago Bears. You were kind of expecting that kind of a game, 40-3, and it ended up just not only being a lot more competitive than it should have been, but Kadarius Toney, another fucking interception given away. Patrick Mahomes still fucking yelling on the sideline. Just seems like this Chiefs offense is like deteriorating before our eyes. And I don't know if that's actually the case or if this is a case where Bill Belichick just drew up a decent game plan, just didn't have the personnel to pull it off.
I'm concerned about the Chiefs. They're like you said, their offense, I mean, really didn't look good against Buffalo, didn't look great last week. I mean, they get the win, they do what they need to do, yay. But I actually think I'm really curious to see this Raiders game. I really think the Raiders have a chance to get an upset. I don't like what Kansas City's looking like. I think
You're going to take
is getting frustrated.
Are you considering taking the Raiders as a road dog?
Aren't they at home in Vegas?
No, they're in Arrowhead.
Never mind. I don't like it as much in Arrowhead.
I'll give you a quick preview though. 82% of the money right now in Kansas City, but only 60% of the bets.
Ooh.
So there might be some sharp money on Raiders plus 10 right now.
I don't know. I don't like Kansas City and New England. They're not even worth mentioning. Who cares? They're done.
Bill Belichick might be gone at the end of the year for New England, and there's not much else I can really say. Got a lot to say here, though. Tommy DeVito, Tommy Cutlets got cut the fuck up. Maybe concussed. Who the fuck knows? Giants 6, Patriots 20, or not Patriots, New Orleans Saints 24. Not a good bounce back spot for Tommy Cutlets. And I will say this is one where the Sharps, they called it perfectly. This was the spot you fade him. It didn't matter that the New Orleans Saints were home favorites, even though oh God, what's he doing?
Yeah, getting the that was the first half of what is going to be my disgusting aged vodka shot for fucking picking New York shit teams.
God, you put money on the Giants. Oh, you poor bastard.
Oh yeah, I really like the Giants, fading the Saints. And you know what?
That was my fade of the week.
Honestly, the Saints.
Oh wait, I put a unit on them too. No.
Honestly, the fucking Saints are literally, they have a chance, an outside chance. I don't think they're going to win this week. Well, I don't want to give away my Thursday hand, but like the Kaser bet all of a sudden is getting like very interesting.
God, are we really going to push? Like, that's my concern. Are we really going to push? Or am I going to lose at the tail end of the year? Like, that is going to be like the most heartbreaking Kaser I've ever had. Like, last year was bad, but like I knew it was over early. Like it, you were
basically like minus 1,000 to win the bet, and now it's like minus 400.
And I'll give kudos to you. You didn't cash out. You didn't offer a settlement. You wrote it out till we're writing this out till the end. I
knew they had a weekend of the schedule, but I really thought the Giants were. Oh my God.
But anyways, back to the game. Derek Carr, I guess he decided he didn't want to fight with the center this time. The Saints have now covered 2 in a row as favorites at home. Sort of shocking, but then you remembered, oh wait, they played the Panthers and then they played the Giants.
That is true. Yeah.
And now they're going to have to go play a real team this coming Thursday with the LA Rams. And
boy, we're on the. I can already tell we're going to be on the same page Thursday. You literally like you got my handicap down to a T.
It's like I know you. It's like
after this game, the Giants. It was a fun story. It was fun while it lasted. You know what are you going to do? Like That's what you get with these Tommy DeVito, Tommy Cutlets, Pizzeria Tommy. Like, it was a
Jeremy
fun little
Lin.
story. It's fun. It was a laugh. It made the Giants fun. Who knows? Maybe they play tough against the Eagles. Like, I'm not saying the fun is over, but any dreams that they had of playoffs, I mean, New Orleans really, really just took care of business.
Yeah, I mean, well, they did what they had to do. It wasn't even
In a
pretty.
non-Saints way, because normally the Saints are a team that fucking loses games like this, but they took care of business this time.
Yeah, and again, I mean, like, I don't know. I don't want to really give too much credit to this Saints team because literally it was 7-6 going into the half. And then, like, they did the bare minimum and they stopped a Tommy DeVito. Like, am I supposed to be impressed by that? No, I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, this was a Derek Carr game to lose, but he just won this time because it was a third stringer. That's my overall takeaway. That's how I'll end it here.
Yeah.
All right. So your piss warm vodka, is it ready?
Well, we're saving the second half for the other New York bet that was just.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. All right.
Not that I really put I don't even know if I put a bet on this, but it was a handicap. So
this one I ought to thank you for, and I'm actually pissed at myself because I should have put money on this and I didn't. And I actually avoided it because we had the differences, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they covered as 3.5-point road dogs in Green Bay. They actually ended up getting the win. 34-20 was the final. The over 42.5 does hit. So got the cover right, got the totals right. I still picked Green Bay to win. I thought they would do better at home, but this is just who Jordan Love is apparently. And now all of a sudden you have to did Baker actually deserve the starting role in Tampa?
Baker Mayfield, I think the first road quarterback ever with a perfect passer rating in Lambeau Field.
Yeah, that is insane to me.
That is so fucking bad.
Yeah. I didn't expect that. That was my problem.
I thought the Packers would win, but Tampa would cover. And that was another one that was a very surprising result. And boy, Green Bay, talk about you have an opportunity, the Vikings lose, and you just fucking squander it. And they're probably done, I think.
God, Green Bay, I think.
That's what you call an NFC eliminator, boys and girls. I think Green Bay is toast.
6-8, Bucks 7-7. Green Bay, there's 3 weeks left. If they win out 9-8, I think
Who do they play next week?
Wild. Green Bay plays Minnesota?
No, Minnesota plays Detroit.
No, Detroit. Green Bay plays the Carolina Panthers.
Okay, so, the season will survive.
And then they play Monday night at Minnesota. And then they finish it off against Chicago. So honestly, if they win, I think if they win out, they get in because you beat 2 division opponents.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I have no faith in Green Bay. That was a really bad loss. I know they haven't covered that now. They're 5 straight as favorites against the NFC South, but not a good performance for them.
That's not what you want to hear. And you know what? I'll say this, Baker winning on the road the way he did, I'm not going to say it completely eliminates the fade Baker on the road trend, but after that, you kind of have to wonder if he's playing a mediocre team, less than quality team, you might have to start betting on him again, especially if you're going to get 3.5.
I'm scared about Tampa though. I've seen this story before.
Yeah, we saw it with Tampa Tom last year where they went to the playoffs on a 7-10 record. If you remember.
Well, in that division, they might get there. They might get there in that division. Yeah.
Fair enough. Tampa hosts Jacksonville next week. They're -1.5 favorites now, -108, dead even on the money line. Thoughts and comments before we get to that?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know with Tampa. That I'm going to really have to look at that game. I don't know, man. Tampa, I don't like them.
No worries.
I don't like Todd Bowles. I don't like Tampa.
Sorry, Todd Bowles, Mount St. Mary's alumni. All
I
right.
bet them against the Colts. They fucked me like bitter with Tampa.
That's fair. All right, moving on. All right, this one, if this is not your second half, so I got to ask you. It was Miami.
Yep, here we go.
We handicapped this. We took the time to talk. It was -8.5, -510. I think it got to -9.5. Look, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I had the best handicap ever. What the fuck were you thinking? I'm not going to even sit here and say, like, you were an idiot, because I know of at least one sharp who was on the Jets plus the points, not the money line, but just Jets plus the points, because he thought Miami was spiraling on offense. That he didn't know Tyreek Hill was going to play. So he was like, let me get ahead of the points before, and then if he doesn't play, I'll double down. My handicap was this, ladies and gents, if you don't remember from the last week's episode. I literally said, if Tyreek plays, go bet the Dolphins. If he's out, go bet the Dolphins.
Yeah.
it didn't matter to me.
The Jets defense is now 1-6 in games that they're going to win without.
Well, no, that's not it. I know you were going to say this, but I will attest. This was the week where I was like, I didn't hear that excuse. What I heard was Tua was basically not going to perform at home against the Jets, despite the fact that he always does, and despite the fact that they have a winning record against the Jets. And what? That was my issue. This wasn't like the Jets defense could beat this team. The Jets defense could beat Aiden O'Connell. They could beat Tommy DeVito. They could beat this was literally the Jets defense, this isn't about the Jets defense. This is about Tua Tagovailoa. But he showed up, and so did Jalen Waddle, and who didn't show up, Money Mansmann? Who didn't show up?
Well, the Robert Saleh should have been fired at halftime in this game. I mean, they're talking about this is a big game, turn your season around, and I mean, no offense, the Jets didn't even get off the fucking plane. They didn't even get out of the fucking tarmac. Their jet was in the airport fucking on fire. Zach Wilson pretty much got concussed the first drive of the game. Trevor Siemian, oh my God, he's terrible. And the Jets just completely fucking quit, no show, embarrassing. Basically ending Rodgers. I don't even want to mention his name either.
Aaron Rodgers no longer going to play this year, making the smart career move, in my opinion. But
honestly, I don't want to hear from him seriously. He's in the news because he's going to be fucking on the active roster, so he could practice. I just don't want to hear this guy. Nothing. I mean,
the Jets have now lost. By the way, Jets have now lost 11 straight in road division games.
Yep.
11.
One of the worst teams against their division in
they have
NFL
one
fucking
more.
history.
I think they have one more I think this actually, is this it?
I think other than beating the Bills a couple times, I think their game division games.
Do they play New England one more time?
Last week of the season.
Bro, this is going to be 12 in a row. Bro, Robert Saleh is going to be 0 for.
Bro, I definitely think New England's winning that game. And the Jets are going to be a road favorite, too, and lose because they suck.
That'll be dog of the week. That might be literally, put that in the round. Because, again, so every year, week 18, we call it's Degent week. It's chaos week. We literally just bet the dogs. And we find reasons why. This will go as a straight bet. This will be a parlay. This will be round robin. This will be nuts. This will be cuckoo for Cocoa. Yeah, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It's going to be nuts. If you think betting on this Jets team moving forward is going to be
and real quick, because it's much more fun than talking about this game. Just real quick, Rodgers coming back next year after not having played for a year with this Jets team. What do the Jets have? 6 wins? 7 wins?
5?
Does Rodgers even make it to week 8 with this offensive line?
What do the Jets have right now?
I mean, they're talking about you listen to Jet shows. Oh, maybe the Jets will get 10, 11 wins next year with Rodgers. With what? The Bills, the Dolphins in their division?
And not to mention too, if the Patriots do a hard restart, I mean, that's a team you have yet to beat in like how many fucking years? Like, forget the Bills and Dolphins for a second. The Patriots are the team you need to beat first.
Yeah, how about you beat like the Patriots? How about you like win a game outside of like October? Because with Robert Saleh, it's literally they win in October and then every other month they're terrible.
Oh, hang on 1 second. There was something I meant to.
While you look at that,
I'll introduce the next game.
Speaking of idiots, yeah, here we go. Oh.
There you go. There he is.
Oh, it smells bad.
Hold on. Tell the folks what vodka is that before you.
It is. I don't want to insult the vodka because Ketel One is very good, but this is like been out, like stale, rank, disgusting. This is my punishment vodka. It's not good.
That is not what you want to see.
Here we go.
Folks. I wanted to mention, I thought it was this week, but it was actually last week. For those of you at home.
God.
You poor bastard.
It is so bad.
Oh, that's rough. Oh. Yeah, this was last week. Yeah, for those of you at home, if you remember, I had placed a Jets as my best futures bet. Jets under 9.5 total wins.
Well, that was fucking cash
last week. Like it was literally it was that's the easy button. Like so this week I have more futures bets that also cashed on, and also the reason why it was a big profit week. But I thought there was more that I missed. But yeah, Jets under 9.5 win total. Next year, I swear to God, if the Jets, that's the thing. Like next year, Rodgers comes back, you look at the win total. If it's 9.5 or higher, I'll do this again. Under, like it's absurd.
I think we're gonna get it 10.5, and the Bills are gonna be like an 8.5
or 9.5, maybe like Bills 9.5.
It's so weird because I really want the Bills to make the playoffs, but there's a part of me that hopes that they like make the wild card so that they have like an easier schedule next year, so they don't literally have to play like the fucking Chiefs again, the fucking Eagles, like, well, not the like every fucking first place team. I kind of want them to get the second place teams because I feel like they'll just have like an easy schedule next year and just kill everybody. Yeah.
No, I'm with you there. I wouldn't fault that logic. And it was kind of like the same reason with Denver, where it was like, supposedly you got an easy schedule, but like towards, end of the year, you don't know who half these teams are. Like flips it. Now,
I'll leave us with this. How did the Bills and Broncos both lose to the fucking Jets?
God. Moving on. Because I'll start chugging the incinerator if we get into that. We have 6 more games to get through as well. All right, moving on. It's the Houston Texans. They traveled to the Tennessee Titans. They were catching 3.5 on the road. This is I guess a mea culpa moment, but also I don't think they announced this till like the day before. But I probably should have been better about being on top of this. Wasn't Davis Mills who started, who I pretty much handicapped this whole game on. Ended up being Case Keenum, which was the right move for the Texans. And God, once again, the Titans just blow another overtime game. And you blow it to Case Keenum of all fucking people. 16-19 was the final. The over.
That Schultz catch was pretty legit, which
I don't care though. Like Dalton Schultz makes a catch from Case Keenum. Like what is it? Unless it's the miracle in Minnesota, I don't want to hear it.
This is the second time that the Titans have blown a lead late and then, like you said, lost in overtime.
It's unreal, dude. It is like completely unreal. This Titans team and how quick this was, I think it was 2020 or 2019, the number 1 seed in the AFC. How quick the mighty have fallen with the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I remember when the Titans played that game against the Bills in Buffalo and won like 41-38, and Derrick Henry had like 270 rushing yards. Yeah, Derrick Henry's washed, and I'll tell you, with the Titans, I think this was the dream crusher for them. I think you fade them the rest of the year. I think they're done so.
Yeah, I think pains me to say it because I can never get a read with this team, but I think you're 100% right. Auto fade rest of the year.
Yeah, I would 100%. I think they're like a small underdog this week against someone.
Seattle.
Decent. Oh, I'm all over Seattle in this.
Yeah,
spot.
Seattle's a 2.5 point home, or they're a 2.5 point road dog.
No, Seattle's not an underdog.
Oh, sorry, road favorite.
They
you're
cannot
right.
be. I would.
No, you're right. Titans
trying to load up on the Seahawks because I think this Titans. I mean, I don't even know who starts at quarterback. If it's Malik Willis, I'm playing Seattle's defense in fantasy. Like
Seattle's getting 75% of the money in the bets right now.
Yeah, so I think Tennessee. God, I hope it's Malik Willis.
They're a public non-conference road favorite. Does that concern you?
No, because I think Tennessee is, after last week, I think they're done so. That was the dream crusher. They lost their quarterback. I think it's funny. I picked up Green Bay's defense and Seattle's defense because I'm going to see who the Titans play. And if the Titans play Malik Willis, I might have to play Seattle because I think Seattle could get like 3 turnovers in that game.
I couldn't fault you, but then again, I remember that Chiefs-Titans game that was like, what was it, 7-7 going into overtime or some shit like that? Or 10-10, I forget, but that was an ugly-ass performance. But so I could see that happening too, but I hear you, and I think it makes sense moving forward. Auto fade the Titans. All right, going into the 4 o'clock slate, this one was my borderline best bet of the week. I actually did bet a good amount of money on this. I'm glad it hit, although we're going to talk about the ending here. It's the LA Rams. They hosted the Washington Commies. They did win and cover 6.5 point home favorites. The over 50.5 does not hit, though. Sam Howell, 10 drives, barely over 110 yards, I think. Jacoby Brissett comes in late in the 4th randomly, and a couple long bombs later, he has more passing yards. This team is back, and I'm watching this with 4 minutes to go, Mansmann. And I'm like, fuck, the Rams are about to blow this. This is going to be the Jacoby Brissett turnaround. This is going to be the spark for the Commanders. And it was just like penalty, offsides, personal foul, or pass interference. And they're just taking their sweet time getting the ball moving. And it was just like they would do 3 downs, get 3 and out. There's a flag. They would do another 3. They'd get shut out. They convert on 4th. They would do another 3. There's another flag. And then eventually, under 2 minutes to go, the Commanders finally get the fucking job done. The refs literally did everything in their power to get the fucking game going. And in a position where I would think most NFL coaches go for 2, Ron Rivera goes for 1. And I'm like, thank you, Ron. My guy. Like,
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh, thank you, Ron. Oh, Jesus.
Thank you, Ron. And they still fucking blocked the kick. That was the best part. He still blocked the kick. And then they do the onside kick. Cooper Kupp, pro move, throws it out of bounds behind him. Rams get the ball. They get the win and cover. Minus 6.5. Yeah, this to me was like, I think the Rams are starting to heat up. I really think that they're starting to hit their stride late in the season. And if you remember, we talked about this in 2021 when the Rams went on that Super Bowl run. And I said, like, look, they may not be the most exciting team. Stafford has his limitations, but I think if they hit their stride and they start heating up and they start winning games, it's a team you kind of have to basically not auto fade, but auto bet almost. Although they are only 7-7. So, Money Man, like, what was your overall thoughts?
Yeah, kind of a weird game. That was sort of the weird game of the week because the Rams were in control and then it got a little ugly with Brissett late. But, I think it's like 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6 of the Rams now. And I think their only loss in like the last 4 or 5 games was to the Ravens in overtime. So They're playing their best football. Kyron Williams has been a fucking revelation for them.
I'm still pissed you got him in fantasy and you jumped on that gun early, which, I mean, good for you, but like, God, that is just like, God, I wish I had him right now because normally the Rams.
Kyron Williams, someone else does. I don't have him.
Oh, I thought you did have him.
No, sadly, no.
Oh shit. Oh no, you had Ty Johnson.
Yeah, I went Ty Chandler. I got Ty
Or Ty
Chandler
Chandler, not
for
Ty
the
Johnson, Ty
Vikings. Yeah.
Chandler. Oh. But yeah, I mean, this Commanders team, Ron Rivera, he has to go. And by the way, he plays the Jets next week. If you lose to the Jets, I would make the argument you just fire him for the last 2 weeks.
The Jets are a favorite, so there's that.
It makes sense. I mean, I hate to say it, but it makes sense.
The Commies are a dead team walking. I wonder if they play Brissett or not. That's the real question.
I don't think you do. I think they announced Sam Howell's going to continue to be the starter, and I think that is the right move. You've been
That's
going
the right move. See what you got. I mean, no offense though. I think Commander Sam. I think the story is over for him.
I mean, they have Jake Fromm.
I don't know. He played bad against Miami. He played bad against the Rams. I don't expect him to do much better against the Jets.
Yeah, is this going to be the week is this going to be another week the Jets defense could beat the team?
Well, I don't know. I mean, did the Jets offense
the handicap I'm going to hear?
This will be the one week the Commies defense shows up.
I swear to God, though, if it's one more week of the Jets defense could beat Sam, I will bet the Commies on principle. I really will, because I cannot fucking handle. At least last week it was look, Tua's going down the tubes. He hasn't been doing great. You kind of have to wonder if this number is too high.
Yeah.
I respected that more than the Jets defense could beat Aiden O'Connell. They're not that bad.
The Jets defense that's now 1-5 or 1-6 in games where they're going to beat the opposing team single-handedly.
Yeah, supposedly. So I can't fucking handle that anymore, but yeah, no, Washington pretty much on auto fade moving forward, and for reasons.
Yeah,
thank you, Ron Rivera, for proving. For Ron Rivera, thank you for proving that Washington should be on auto fade the rest of the year, and you shouldn't waste any more money on them because you're going to go for the one down 8.
I would have fired him midway through the year. He's terrible.
What a joke!
Terrible team.
What a joke for the Commanders. Next up, it's the next divisional matchup. The Arizona Cardinals, they hosted the San Francisco 49ers. They were 12.5-point home underdogs. Didn't fucking matter, though. Kyler Murray, once again, loses to the best team in the NFL right now, the San Francisco 49ers. God, I just had the final score and fucking lost.
Brock Purdy, MVP favorite, -200.
Yeah, you know what? Comeback player of the year would have been an interesting bet to place. I would have not expected MVP.
Although, to be fair, no offense to Purdy, I think he's winning it by default because every time there's a challenger, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott laid an egg. We're going to get to that. No, good win for San Fran. What we expected. Arizona has no defense. The first half got a suck out with my -7.5 first half bet. That was lucky. We're very happy about that. But
that was bet number 1 that cashed for me.
Yeah, so that was lucky. But then the rest of the game, Cardinals just sort of became what the Cardinals are, and San Fran's on another level.
Yeah, they just proved why they were the best team in the NFL in this game. But I will say this, and kind of on the flip side of things, number 1, I hope Brock Purdy doesn't win MVP. I would rather see Christian McCaffrey gets it because, let's be honest, I think he's more deserving than Brock Purdy is. Brock Purdy, by the way, he's number 1 in pass completions in the league, number 32 in pass attempts.
That's crazy.
That is insane. But Christian McCaffrey's the one having a year. Let's be real. This guy,
I think he had 3 touchdowns in the game.
God, if only he could do it next week, but in this week. But I don't know, man. This was my over of the week, and I had a feeling this was going to happen. I had a feeling the Niners were going to come close to hitting this over on their own, and that was a big hit. I will say, though, I know you hate Kyler Murray, but I think moving on, if you're the Cardinals, if you're not going to get another generational talent, I think you stick with who you have in Kyler and just rebuild around him, because you see the difference with guys like him and guys like Josh Dobbs, Josh Rosen,
No,
I don't even remember. I don't even know.
Nothing. Josh Dobbs got benched for Nick Mullins. I mean,
yeah. I mean, do you see my point though? Like, I'm not saying Kyler's like the best quarterback by any stretch.
He's no good. Kyler's no good. He sucks.
Yeah, but I think like if you're going to replace him, you better get somebody worthwhile. Because if you get another draft bust or you get a guy who can, you see the difference in the offense with Kyler Murray on the field than you do without him.
I think Kyler Murray might have been the third worst contract in NFL history.
Oh,
Number one, Deshaun Watson. Number two, Russell Wilson. Number three, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, that.
Number three, Kyler Murray.
Who would you put number four? Jamarcus Russell?
Well, no, because he was a rookie. I'm thinking about like actually like signed contract. Oh, Von Miller, number four, Von Miller with the Bills.
Von Miller, yeah. Von Miller's pretty bad.
Pretty bad. God.
That is bad. That is bad. I'm trying to think.
Aaron Rodgers could be up there just because of the injuries.
No, Rodgers has done too much to have that disrespect.
Only the Jets would sign Aaron Rodgers, not get insurance for his contract, and have to pay the whole salary when he gets hurt. It's just so funny.
Fucking dummies. And especially for New York, too. Like, you would think, like, they'd have the lawyers to be like, well, we should probably get insurance on this guy, or we should probably have, like,
he never gets hurt, so.
Yeah, never. In the history of ever. He's just injured pride, ayahuasca, drug test. We have to bench him, whatever.
My roof's never caved in before, so I guess I'll just fucking not have home insurance.
Well, I've never. Well, that's not true. I was gonna say I've never broken a bone, but I know that's not true.
Well,
yeah. You know what? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think anyone in my immediate family has had cancer. That doesn't mean I'll ever get it. So no, I won't get medical insurance. Are these the kind of guys that like they call the hotlines for lawyers? Like, well, yeah, like I want to sue these guys for medical malpractice. Well, yeah, they're racking up bills for $9 million for chemo. Well, did you submit to your insurance? Well, I don't have insurance. What?
Yeah. So yeah, Kyler Murray, he's terrible.
Great takeaways here. Great takeaways. Kyler Murray sucks. The Niners are the number one team.
Well, no, it's just we've seen this before. Kyler Murray is just no good.
Well, I mean, there's levels to this shit. Kyler's not there.
They scored 20 points.
Tell you what, I'll meet you in the middle. Kyler Murray is getting paid a lot of money to underperform. Especially his expectations. The injuries definitely don't help, but what I will say is that I think the reason they paid him was sound and logical, but now you have to commit to him. You can't go into next year's draft and take a rookie.
It's just Kyler so bad Murray. They paid him and then they got rid of like Cliff Kingsbury and the GM that drafted him. It was just so weird.
I will say that is strange. They travel to Chicago next week. They're 4.5-point road dogs.
Oh, there you go. Battle of the bust. That's what I'm calling it. Trademark it. Battle of the bus.
All right. Well, I think you've waited long enough. We got to the game of the week. The Buffalo Bills did not trounce, did not falter, did not wave. They, dare I say, beat the piss out of the Dallas Cowboys 31-10.
And it wasn't even that close. The Bills make me wanna kick your heels up, throw your hands up, throw your hands back. Yeah, come on now.
Monty Mansmann. What was your takeaway of this Bills team? I don't even want to ask about Dallas. We saw what happened. And I think every sports analytics guy, every sports media has shit on the Cowboys as it is. But we didn't really hear too much about how much this means for the Bills. So you as a Bills fan, what did this win mean?
All right. So I said it a few weeks ago before Ken Dorsey was shipped to the moon where he belongs. I said the Bills season was over. And what I meant by that was not, they couldn't make the playoffs or anything. I'm talking about like a true Bills fan. They're at that stage in their development where every year the goal is legitimately to win a Super Bowl. You're not looking to be a wild card. You're not looking to win a division. They've been in the playoffs year after year after year. Their season is win a Super Bowl. I declared that the Bills season was over. Well, at 8:36 on December 20th, 2023, that statement is hereby rescinded.
Wow.
I do believe the Bills season is back on.
Wow.
This is the type of game. Oh, yeah, baby.
We're getting.
And the reason why is it wasn't Josh Allen playing superhero ball. It wasn't the Cowboys sort of, fumbling the ball 5 times. It wasn't, this was just a straight up, for the first time I can remember, the Bills just going and saying, we are going to out-scheme you, out-coach you, out-physical you. We're going to line it up. We're going to run, and you can't stop it. And the defense, we're going to play aggressive. We're going to play tight coverage, and you're not going to be able to beat us. Again, it's just one game. I'm not saying, the Bills are in the Super Bowl now. My point is, looking at the way the Bills played against Dallas, they're a team I could see that has a legitimate chance to win a Super Bowl. I don't think they're as good as Baltimore. I don't think they're as good as San Francisco. I don't know if they're really as good as Miami on Miami's best day. They could lose to Kansas City. They could lose to Jacksonville. We've seen that before. So again, it's not, they lost to Philly already, but this is a team that legitimately, if they play like that, if their offensive line could take over, if the interception streak is finally fucking over, thank God.
Yeah, and they did it by letting him throw 15 times.
8 games, it's finally over, whatever. The Bills
how do you feel about Josh getting a game ball and not James Cook, despite the fact that Cook did everything?
Well, the reason they gave it to him was because he got the record. He has the NFL record now for most consecutive games with a rushing and passing touchdown, or most games in NFL history with a rushing and passing touchdown. That's why I got the ball.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's why they gave him the ball, because it was a record.
Okay, that helps. But
yeah, James Cook deserved a fucking 3-game ball.
All right, so here's what I'll say. Outcoached. That was my takeaway. Josh literally did the bare minimum. And when I say bare minimum, I'm not talking clipboard, just hand the ball off, don't throw the ball ever, like a third stringer. No, Josh literally did the bare minimum that was expected of Josh Allen. Josh Allen, don't turn the ball over. Josh Allen, keep the ball moving. Josh, don't make mistakes.
Yeah. Josh, don't do first down with your feet.
Josh, don't do hero ball. Josh, just find the open guy. And he did that on 15 passes, 9 completions, less than 100 yards. In a game where you hear Josh threw for less than 100 yards, but won 31-10. And you tell a bit. Imagine we were at the Broncos game and we say, look, we're from the future. You're going to win 31-10. Josh is going to throw less than 100 yards and play a full game uninjured. Your running back committee is going to win this game for you. How many people laugh in our faces?
Oh, yeah, because think about it. Ken Dorsey was the coach. We were turning the ball over 17 fucking times. And then essentially Dallas's defense, and you hear the Bills basically are going to run the ball the whole game? Yeah, we would have
oh, yeah, you would have laughed us out of town. But no, that's literally what happened. And to be honest with you, I applaud Sean McDermott here. And, I'm not a fan of his comments, but, what I will say is Sean McDermott, literally came in and said, okay, Dallas, stop the run. If you can't stop the run, we're just going to keep doing it. If you stop the run, we're going to start throwing. And Dallas the whole time was like, we don't want hero balls. We don't want long balls. We're going to stop Diggs. We're going to stop Gabe Davis. Okay, well, fine. And literally, it was so genius. I was watching it on ESPN. They were literally like, where's Micah Parsons lined up? Okay, he's lined up on the right. Okay, where's number 4? The smallest guy on the Cowboys defense. Great. We're gonna have two offensive linemen tackle him every time.
Bro,
you're just gonna run in his direction.
Did you see the snowman, Deion Dawkins? Did you see that block?
Yes. Oh my Lord. And literally every play, Josh was just like, and it was literally like, we're just gonna run a halfback sideline draw. And literally, they showed the replay where Josh is like behind his back. He's just literally pointing in the direction for where James Cook needs to run. That's all they had. It was so dumb, but it was just so like in the same way, so ingenious of McDermott to basically say, "Look, this is our game plan, and we're going to do this until they stop it." And they never did.
I will say one thing about Dallas. You start to get scared now. Is Dallas a team that needs to get up to an early lead? Because like.
No, Dallas is a team where you can't face they're like the Dolphins. You can't face a good team. Yeah. You have to face losers.
And they need to be at home.
Yeah, 100%.
Different team on the road. Yeah, they got clobbered
against losers. Dallas plays Miami next week, and spoiler alert, I think Miami could run what the Bills did a lot better than what the Bills did. So, like, I'd be worried for Dallas because you're not only facing another winning team, you're back in the same situation, just in Florida.
Although the only concern, well, I guess it isn't, right? Is it the close your eyes special for Dallas?
It is.
Close your eyes special.
The close your eyes special, for those who, if you follow SGPN, you'll know what we're talking about. The close your eyes specials is when a team fails to cover the spread by more than 20 and is then an underdog the next week. There's like a stat out there where they are like 70%.
But I don't know if they made it because technically they were like +2 at the start of the game, and technically it was a 21-point game. Might not actually be the close your eyes
20 plus, so yeah, it counts.
I don't know, man. That's close though. Yeah, that's pretty much. That's about as close to the close your eyes special as you get. But yeah.
No, wait, they were an underdog though. That's why they're normally. It has to be that they're a favorite.
Oh, okay. I have to say, though, I am terrified, very terrified for this game against the Chargers because the Bills, they just had that big performance. Now you're going to LA, and the Chargers literally hit rock bottom last week.
No. It's Easton. You're facing Easton Stick. No.
I'm afraid. Could be a big letdown.
No, if your defense didn't show up last week, I'd be concerned. But your defense literally like beat the piss out of Dak Prescott. Easton Stick has no chance. Oh, and by the way, Keenan Allen probably out again.
Oh, okay. Quentin Johnson can't catch a cold, so okay.
God. Okay, I think we talked enough about this game. Sunday Night Football, Baltimore Ravens. They went to Jacksonville. They were my best bet of the week. Best bet catches. 5-unit play, or not 5. It was a 2.5-unit play, 5-unit profit. Baltimore. What a joke. 20. God, what the fuck was I literally just had the score.
23-7.
Thank you. I was going to say 26. I knew that wasn't right. 23-7. The Jags and Cinderella, Trevor Lawrence. This is why you fade them. This is why you fade them. The Ravens had no business winning this game. If you watch this Sunday night game, the Ravens had zero business coming in and doing what they did to Jacksonville. And I think they had a couple suckouts here and there in the first half. And in the second half, it was just like, okay, Cinderella, show us what you got. And he just did nothing the whole fucking game. Couldn't fucking tie his own shoes right. The Ravens, again, winning. This is what scares me for the Ravens next week. They have been winning in like superior, ugly fashion, but they're winning and covering. And now you're getting like the number one team in the NFL.
The only thing is that remember Lamar Jackson, NFC.
I know. It's so scary. And now, but this is like literally it's like an unstoppable object meets an immovable force. Like, what do you I don't even know what you do with the Ravens next week yet. But like what I'll say, the Ravens, this is a game. I don't care how ugly it was. This is like you win the division by winning these kinds of games. Even though all you've got is a wild card at this point. The Ravens, like, I think every game matters from here on out because this division is such a tight race. And you've lost a couple division matchups here and there. So, at the end of the day, I'm not expecting the Ravens to take their foot off the pedal, but I just wonder if they're actually going like full speed. This just seems like a team that constantly goes 60 no matter how hard they're pushing.
Yep. And speaking of teams winning a division with wins, how about losing divisions with games like this? And all of a sudden, Jacksonville is in a 3-team race for the AFC South. So
I told you when we handicap, or not handicap, but when we were talking about the week 14 recap, I told you, and I put the money on it. I was like, bro, you look at this Colts schedule, you look at the Jags, this could literally in 1 week, you could flip and have a 3-way tie, and by next week, the Colts could have the lead. I'd bet it 5.5 or 6.5 to 1. So I got some good money playing on it. So I'm hoping the Colts come through for me, but you're 100% right. This is a game, you're the Jags, you lose this after losing the week before, you're not only out of the division, you're out of the playoffs.
Yeah, Jags are, boy, talk about bet at your own risk. I mean, they are. Their offense looks like horrid, and their defense can't stop the run anymore. They just cannot stop the run, even a little.
So how do you feel? I mean, I know we're not handicapping yet, but they're 1.5 point road underdogs now in Tampa. I mean, does that like...
I can't get behind that. That's the thing. Like, it's hard because I hate Tampa. But, I don't know, man. I find it very hard to back Tampa in that game. But, God, do you want to, like, lay points? Like, do you want to bet with, like, anything on Jacksonville right now? I mean, they're looking – they've been terrible the past, like, 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, Jacksonville has just been, like – I'll say they've been the team that – again, fraudulent isn't the word, but they were like an inverse of last year, kind of like the Lions almost, where remember last year how bad they were in the beginning and then they turned it around and started clicking and getting it together. Now it just feels like early in the season they played a lot of bad teams. They had a lot of good spots where they were winning games, and now it's like this team might have been figured out. You're playing tougher teams towards the end of the year.
Yeah, they look like a team that peaked early. They look like a team that peaked early.
Yeah, exactly. They peaked early, and I didn't bet this, but now I'm tempted to look at the numbers. I'm wondering what Jags are to miss the playoffs, because if it's plus money, I'd be tempted to take it now.
Oh, gotta be plus money.
I'll take a quick peep, and I'll introduce the Monday night game. I'll let you start off here, but Monday Night Football, somehow, some way, despite the fact that there was no Geno Smith, he didn't write back, but stepping in his place, the ever-loving Drew Dubs Lock gets the job done at home, beats Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles 20-17 in a comeback victory, 2-minute drill. Jalen Hurts' flu game looked like what it looked like to have the flu. It looked like what he would look like if you had the flu. Money Mansman, what is the state of the Eagles right now? And what is this win? What do you think this win in general, like, what do you think it means for the Seahawks?
Well, first off, I can't win on Monday night. I lose every Monday night game. It's just so insane.
7 straight underdogs have won Monday Night Football.
I must lose every fucking Monday night. I'm like terrible on Monday night.
I saw a stat, by the way, real quick. I saw a stat where it was like if you took $10 7 weeks ago and just bet the money line underdog on Monday Night Football and rolled it over, you would be up like $22,000.
I think have I bet the favorite like every Monday? I mean, I might have done that. Bills I had earlier in the year against Denver. Eagles this time. I had.
I'll go to week 10 and move
last
on.
week. It's just
Bills. Eagles were a road dog.
Yeah, no fucking
Chicago
no.
road dog
Yeah, oh
against
yeah,
the Vikings.
Minnesota before. God, just been terrible.
Cincinnati beat Jacksonville.
Yep.
The Giants won at home against Green Bay, and the Titans beat the Dolphins on the road against the
Oh, the
Dolphins.
Giants. That was the only fucking Monday game I've had right in my last 7.
Yeah, literally the last 7 games, it's been nothing but underdogs.
Dreadful.
But anyways, to the game.
Yeah, the Eagles. It really felt like the right handicap, even though, like, I mean, it still felt like a game. The Eagles were going to win 17-13, and then they just completely blew it at the end. The Eagles are sinking at the wrong time of the year. They are playing their worst football at the wrong time of the year. They're in danger of losing home field to the Cowboys. Like, the Cowboys could very easily win that division. And yeah, Eagles, I don't know, man. They won a lot of close games early in the year. The question is regression to the mean. There's a lot of sharps who are doing their victory lap because they said the Eagles weren't that good. They're being proven right. And let's give kudos to, like, fucking Pete Carroll.
Oh, God,
this
yeah.
team, I've written them off for dead. I thought they had like 10 losses. There's still 7 losses, a couple wins away from potentially being in the playoffs again with Drew Lock filling in and Geno Smith at half health. I mean, Pete Carroll's legit. Like, this guy needs some props.
They're 7-7. They're third in the wild card with the NFC. Sorry, they're third in the West with the Rams. The Rams are technically over them in the number 2. But you're looking at a neck and neck race right now for wild card between those two teams. And by the way, that touchdown celebration with Drew Lock, doing the backpack celebration, I will say the cutaway was fucking beautiful because Drew Lock literally did it, not as confident. And literally the comment I heard was like Drew Lock put it on like he was trying to figure out if it still fit. And then it just cuts to Geno, who's all but confirming it fits. That's my guy. That's a by the way, I doubt we have any real NFL players watching this, but I will say that is a quarterback room you want to be a part of. Yeah. That is a team that is supportive of each other no matter what. And that was refreshing to see because how many backup quarterbacks have we seen go out there and it's like the veteran guy who got benched has no fucking parts of it. Now, I don't think Geno was expecting to lose his job, but what I will say was it was nice to see that kind of support.
And essentially, Drew Lock, too, like, he was a guy who, like, 2 years ago wanted to start, thought he had a chance to start, probably thought he should have started, and they went with Geno. And, I mean, again, real credit to Pete Carroll. And this Seahawks team isn't even, like, that good. And like I said, I mean, they've lost so many in a row. I feel like they've had, like, 10 losses, and yet somehow they're still in the playoff mix and have a decent chance to make the playoffs if some results go their way. So
yeah, 100%. And I think Seattle right now, their team total and their playoff chances, Seattle right now, believe it or not, Seattle has a chance over 8.5 wins, minus 168, under plus 134. So 2 more wins out of the last 3. And I think they get an easy matchup next week too. I want to say
with who knows who a quarterback.
Maybe Malik Willis, maybe Ryan Tannehill, maybe my neighbor Ron. Who the fuck knows? But all right, that was all 15 games. Money Mansmann, any final numbers you have to give?
No. Nope.
All right.
Yeah, numbers right. I have to give. 0-7. Fucking Monday night record.
That is rough. That's rough. Me too, though. To be fair, me too. As far as best bets go, let's see here. 3-2 on the week, and like I mentioned, guys, I went 7-7 and 2 ATS, 9-7 money line, 7-9 over unders on the year. I'm 88, 83 and 7 ATS, 103 and 75 money line, 89, 88 and 1 over under. Okay.
Yeah, my best bet. I guess I'll give my Guess I'll give my best bets. Let's see. My dog of the week was ooh, forgot about them. 2 and 3 on the best bets. My fade of the week. Honestly, my fade of the week has been my best of the best bets. I seem to hit that every week, and then my dog of the week and best bet always lose. So I
My
got
best
my
bets have
under of
been
the I
hitting.
got my under of the week and my fade of the week to hit. So 2 and 3.
Both my over and under plays hit. My best bet did hit, and actually, out of all the 5 categories, my best bets have been the one that has been hitting positive the most, and my unders too. I think they're tied, but I'll give you those numbers on the week 16 episode. But it's time. We're on to week 16. We got an interesting NFC matchup for Thursday Night Football. We have the New Orleans Saints as a 4.5-point road underdog traveling to the Los Angeles Rams at SoFi Stadium. Rams minus 210 on the money line. Saints are currently, as I pull it up, any second now, maybe. I don't know. Either way, Rams are a big favorite. Total over under currently sits at a 46.5. Monty Mansmann, I'm going to give you the honors this week. What is your best bet? Not your best bet. What's your bet for this game?
No, I think you hit the handicap before. Interestingly enough, Saints have covered 4 straight as road underdogs, but the Rams, to contrast with the numbers game, 5 straight wins as favorites on Thursday Night Football.
Whoa. I did not even. You know what? I knew I forgot to do a handicap. I did not do the Thursday handicap, so I'm glad you said that.
So, yeah, look, I agree with your. The Saints have won 2 straight games against the Giants and the Panthers. This is a big step up in class for them going on the road in a short week against the Rams team that, again, we talked about it. I think they've won either 4 of their last 5 or 5 of their last 6. Matt Stafford's been one of the best quarterbacks in football number-wise. I actually was surprised to see that he's like ESPN QBR metrics. He's like 3rd in the league this year. He's been great recently. Basically playing like an elite level quarterback for the past like 5-6 weeks. Since Kyron Williams has come in, Rams offense has been a different animal. I think the Rams are the only play to look here, -4. I just, like I said, I would obviously, it'd be great for the Caser bet if the Saints were to find a way to win here, but they've beaten 2 bad teams. This is a big step up in class. I think the Saints are going to struggle in this game.
Yeah. I personally, I feel like this is a trap because I saw the 4 and I immediately was all over it. I bet the 4. And then I was like, okay, time to actually handicap this. Let's see if I need to cash out. Let's see if I need to rebet this, find another angle. And the more I think about it, it's like this just seems like this just feels like a trap game because the Rams are the better team. The Saints do. Like, they had nothing to show for their wins. They beat 2 of the worst teams in the NFL right now. But not overthinking this, not panicking, putting my foot down. The Rams they're also my play. They are heating up at the right time. They have covered 4 straight. They've won 4 of their last 5 straight up. And the Saints are just still as inconsistent as you can get with Derek Carr. Like he won 2 in a row, like we said, against the Panthers and the Giants, and they covered as home favorites. Now they're underdogs on the road. It's like, well, that's the bar you want to go with, people. Like they won 2 straight against bad teams, and that's where you want to go.
And if you also want to play the look ahead game, Saints end the year, Tampa Bay, Atlanta, 2 division games that are basically going to decide their season. If anything, this seems like a game that the Rams might be looking for more than the Saints.
I 100% agree with you. Now, I will give you this. Road teams, Thursday Night Football, the 14 games I have on record, 9-5 ATS, but 5-9 AT. 5-9 straight up. Might have to update that, but I'm pretty sure that's what I got. So like a team you would want to probably bet on as a dog, but not necessarily as like straight up. But this one I can't even get behind it. Carr, he's 3-4 straight up, 2-4-1 ATS on the road this year. He's only had one win on the road against an NFC team.
At Carolina.
It was the Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
And he pushed. He didn't even cover.
Well, backdoor, but yeah, technically.
But still, like the Saints, to me, like you look at this spot, they're still unbettable. They're 5-9-1 ATS on the year. They are the worst team to bet on with Dennis Allen against the conference opponents. Since Dennis Allen became the head coach, the Saints have been the league worst, 7-13-1 ATS against the NFC. The Rams, they're 4-3 straight up in ATS at home. They have won 4 of their last 5 straight up. They've covered 3 in a row. And, you know, at this point, you're getting a Rams offense that's clicking. They're getting it done. They look pretty. They're getting the job done. They almost beat Baltimore, for Christ's sakes. I think they're going to be able to handle the Saints easily enough. And the Saints have lost 5 of their last 6 against the Rams at the Rams home stadium, if you go all the way back to 2005. So, yeah, Rams at home with the points. I'll take it here. And as far as the total goes, this is a really big overplay for me, but kind of a precaution. The Rams offense has been explosive, and that's why I'm taking the over. The over has hit in 4 straight and has gone 6-1, including Thanksgiving on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
My better bet, though, that I actually am laying money on, Saints team total right now as it lays, over under 20.5. The Saints have not scored over this number on the road when they lose. And they have only gone over this number twice in all 7 of their road losses. Or all 7 of their losses this year. The Rams have held opponents to under 20 in 4 of their last 5. So if you want to play the team total, like I do lean over, but I think that Saints under 20.5 is the deadlock.
I really like that. I might tell you on that. Correlated sort of.
Rams the cover, Saints under.
Yeah, good sort of correlated bet pattern there. Yeah, I mean, I think it matches because I think the Saints, like 9 of their last 10 December games have gone to the under. But yeah, I mean, I originally had under. I'm going to change it to over as well because you're right. There has been a lot of scoring on Thursdays, and yeah, I think if the Rams win this game, they score.
Well, the Raiders put up 64 last Thursday.
Yeah,
in what was supposed to be a dead under game.
If the Rams win, they score. So I like the idea of you could even have like a 34-20 type game. I could see that in this one.
Yeah. All right. So Rams minus 4.5, Saints under 20.5. You're getting 1.5 to 1. Plus 142. It's not bad.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You're paying the correlation tax, but yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty true. But yeah, that's all 15 games. That is our Thursday night pick. We are both going with the Rams minus 4.5. We're both going on the over on the total here. Money Mansmann, any final thoughts before we sign off?
No, that's it. Hopefully it's a good game. It's an interesting matchup. So this might be the first Thursday night game in a while that I maybe sit down and watch, and the holidays are coming. So
hell yeah, man. Anyways, we will have our Friday episode coming up with our Week 16 handicaps for the rest of the Saturday, Sunday, and Monday games. We have the Christmas special, so be on the lookout for those picks. We'll be sure to get out some shorts, hopefully. I'm Steve, Big Bucks Beta, signing off from the Distinguished D-Gents.
Money Mansmann, and as always,
go win that motherfucking money.
money.
Have a good night, D-Gents.
Good night.